Students, now we discuss about the Fresnel's diffraction and the half period zone. Actually, the amplitude and average distance, these various topics. Now, amplitude at P for the Fresnel's diffraction. Now let actually A1, A1, A2, A3. Actually, these are the resultant amplitudes at P due to all the wavelets coming from the first, second, third and mth zones respectively. So if these are zones and at P, if the resultant disturbance, so A1, A2, A3, these are the resultant amplitude at point P coming from wavelets, for the wavelets coming from the first zone, second zone and third zone. So A1, A2, A3 A these are the amplitude at point P coming from due to all wavelets coming from first zone, first, second, third and nth zones. Now, so amplitude or resultant disturbance at P depends on these amplitudes. So if the resultant disturbance are equals to A1 plus A2 plus A3 plus ... An. Now the resultant disturbance is actually depends on the amplitude actually due to all the wavelets coming from first zone, second zone and third zone and nth zone. Now these AM or the amplitude of nth zone, amplitude for the wavelets coming from nth zone actually depends on AM, varies as area of AM coming AN actually area of nth zone. This is nth zone. Actually AN amplitude depends on the area of nth zone and also depends on the distance 1 by d, which is distance of P from nth zone, which is actually 1 by dn. An varies as 1 by dn and varies as obliquity factor which is actually 1 plus cos theta n. What is cos theta n? Actually cos theta n if this is nth zone, cos theta n actually this, the angle between the central and P, this OP and NP, the angle between OP and MP, this is the theta n. So this is actually practically we get from this, practical we get this obliquity factor, there is no theory actually. So amplitude of nth zone so depends on an means the area of zone, and 1 by dn the distance from P and the nth zone, and obliquity factor which is 1 plus cos theta n, where theta n the angle between OP and the MP. So these are the three factors on which the amplitude of nth zone is depends. Now if we consider consideration, if we consider, now we know the alternate zones have opposite phase. Now if A1 have one phase, then A2 actually their phase difference actually pi, so these are opposite phase. So now R actually the resultant disturbance at P R equals to A1 minus A2. If we take the A2 actually in opposite direction, now A3 minus A4 and plus dot plus minus n minus 1 an, and we can also retain as R equals to A1 by 2 and plus A1 plus A3 by 2 and minus A2 plus A3 plus A5 by 2 minus A4 plus dot an by 2 if n is odd, and R equals to A1 by 2 plus A1 plus A3 by 2 minus A2 plus dot actually an minus 1 by 2 minus an if n is even. So these are two conditions, and now we can take actually A1 plus A3 by 2 is nearly equals to A2. So these are actually cancel out, and also A3 plus A5 by 2 nearly equals to A4. So these are cancel out. So resultant disturbance R equals to A1 by 2 plus An by 2 if n by 2 if n is odd, and R equals to A1 by 2 plus An minus 1 by 2 minus An if n is even. So if n is very large, then we can neglect actually these factors we can neglect. So the resultant R or dominant factor actually nearly equals to A1 by 2. So these the resultant disturbance at P point for all the zone plate, for all half period zone. So P actually at point P, the resultant disturbance is A1 by 2. So this is the resultant disturbance for all the zone plate at point P. So this is the amplitude, the expression for amplitude, and the expression for intensity. We know the intensity equals to amplitude square. Now we can get at point P the intensity, the resultant intensity, if we square the amplitude. So this equals to A1 by 2 whole square, actually equals to A1 square by 4. So this is the intensity. This is the intensity of the zone plate at point P. So thank you for watching the video, and if you like this video, you can share and subscribe my channel. So thank you.